Yo, what is going on, boys? It is Maze and I'm back with another YouTube video today. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Today I am just kind of getting into the 5 things that I think the Cowboys need to do to actually become Super Bowl contenders next year. Not in a couple years, literally next year. If they do these 5 things, I do believe that we can get back into contention. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but this is what I would like them to do in the offseason, because obviously this year is kind of like a bump in the road, I guess you could say. It's a little more like a pothole, like one of those that you fall in and like you'll never get out of, but you know, we might be able to fill it, okay? We're super injured and you know, the coaching situation and you guys already know and everything, this and that, but yeah, so I'm going to get right into it. Just the 5 things that I think we can do to actually get back into contention. Let's get right into it. Haha, but before we start, make sure to drop a sub down below on the channel. I really do appreciate it, boys. I do post a lot of Cowboys content, and I also do post some Madden content. If you guys do enjoy the Madden content, whichever content you enjoy more or whatever you want to see more of, make sure to drop a comment down below on what you want to see. Also, make sure to drop a like down on this video if you do enjoy it, and just to help support my channel, it gets my videos out there. I really do appreciate it. So, the first thing, the number one first thing I think we need to do at the end of the season before anything else even happens, we need to fire Mike Nolan. I understand, I know Mike Nolan is kind of known for being a decent defensive coordinator, not amazing, but a decent one. He didn't do that bad with the Saints. He took a lot of no-name players and kind of made them pretty decent. The only thing is that I don't think our scheme and defense kind of settles with his type of coaching. You can tell the players do not enjoy him whatsoever. And we have one of the worst defenses of all time. So you can kind of add it up without really even having to think about it. If we have potential to allow the most points per game ever in NFL history, like a record that hasn't been broken in over like 55 years, 56 years, I'm pretty sure it was like the 1966 Giants. They had like the most points per game. It was like 35. I'm pretty sure right now we're at like 33, 34 points per game. The fact that we can break that record is actually ridiculous. So, I mean, there's only one solution to that, and is to get rid of the root of the problem we are kind of hoping is. I feel like our defense isn't that bad. It just doesn't seem like our defense kind of meshes with him. Pretty self-explanatory. The second thing that we 100% need to do in the offseason, I think a lot of you guys can agree with me this. After the Mike Nolan thing, you guys can agree with me on this. We need to re-sign Dak. No matter what, we know that he was the only one keeping us in those games when those games were going on. I understand our team is a little more injured now and kind of, you know, blah, 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 whatever. But we all know that our defense was as bad as it was now, and we were still staying in games no matter what. We still had a chance to win almost every game that he was playing in. No matter what happened, he was still fighting. He was actually probably going to break the passing yards record. So I understand his ankle, whatever, but I can understand he'll probably come back 100%. He'll probably come back even better. So I think like our number one priority in general when it comes to our roster is to re-sign Dak. That is the one thing I want to see us do. If we can't re-sign Dak, if we franchise him again, I give him any single motive to just leave the team. There's really no point to want to stay in a team that won't kind of just give you a long-term deal no matter how much you've done for them. So make sure to re-sign Dak. I don't care about like the amount of money. I'm not saying he should sign for like Mahomes money, but I think he should get a pretty wealthy contract going into the next year, especially with the way the QB market is right now. Dak is like a top 8 QB in the league, top 7. I don't care what anyone says. You can debate it if you want. It's just undebatable. It's just true. The third thing we 100% need to do in the offseason, this relates to the NFL draft. I think the third thing we actually need to do, obviously, you know, it can't really come in order because my next point is about free agency, but I think this is kind of like priority-wise. We definitely need to draft a cornerback, and I feel like we will have a high enough pick to draft either Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain goes to Alabama. He is from Virginia Tech. So, I don't know if you guys even know, but him and Patrick Surtain are the best corners in college football. Undebatable. They need to get drafted top 10. I feel like we're going to easily have a top 10 pick. There is no reason why we shouldn't use it on a cornerback. Obviously, we could use it on a safety, but with my next point, you guys will kind of understand where I'm coming from when I think we should draft Caleb Farley. He's an insane, super good corner. He's like come out as a star recently. Patrick Surtain, Alabama corner. You guys have probably seen him. Very, very good cornerbacks. I feel like Trayvon Diggs has actually been doing okay. Like I said, I think he's actually a good cornerback, but with the system like no one is kind of putting out there, I just don't think, that whole defense kind of just seems like they don't look like they have a lot of communication going on, and it's just not looking really too good. But as you saw, Trayvon Diggs did just have 2 picks against Carson Wentz. I feel like if we pair him up with one of these corners, we'll still have Jordan Lewis. We could still try and get Anthony Brown back, and any of those corners that are kind of low key can stay on the roster for some depth. I would like to bring those back as well because we kind of need anything we can get. But drafting one of these corners would be huge, like huge for the defense. So this is the number 4 thing. Like I said, this is just a priority. I'm not sure, if this is even going to be able to happen or whatever. Like, you guys can say what you want, but I would really like to see the Cowboys take a run at either Keanu Neal or Jaquiski Tartt. I would love, obviously, Keanu Neal even more. I know he kind of, gets hurt and, whatever, this and that, but we kind of got to get him with, when the value's low. And I think Keanu Neal is an insane safety. Whenever I watch the Falcons play, you can kind of understand where he is on the field no matter what. He kind of does show that. I think he's a really good safety. Jaquiski Tartt plays for the 49ers as well. He is also really good. I like both of them as safeties. I don't know if you guys have checked out film on them, but this isn't really to break them down. You guys probably know that they're good. If you don't think they're good, you can either check out some film or you can debate it in the comments, or any other safety you think we should pick up, let me know. But I think these 2 safeties are probably the best pickups that we can make if we can get them for a reasonable price during free agency next year. They are both unrestricted free agents next year, so we do have a shot at least some kind of contract offering. I understand cap is going to be a little bit of a problem in the future because of Zeke and Dak and Jalen Smith and Dalton Schultz. Not Dalton Schultz, Blake Jarwin now signing back, and we still have the linemen. But I do believe the Cowboys need to understand that this needs to be a priority. We need to get Keanu Neal, Jaquiski Tartt. Xavier Woods is also going to be a free agent. If we could sign him back, I guess that's like the best thing we can do, but picking up one of these guys would be huge, like insanely huge for our defense. It would actually give us some kind of protection in the back end. We haven't had that in years. I don't remember the last insanely good safety we've had, so we definitely need one of those safeties to at least back us up a little bit. And for the 5th and final thing I think the Dallas Cowboys need to do in the NFL draft, I haven't really gone through the whole entire prospect list, so obviously I didn't really have an exact opinion on who I think we should pick up, but I definitely think we should go pretty heavy on offensive linemen during the draft. I think we should draft at least 2 offensive linemen in this draft coming up. Outside of drafting one of those cornerbacks, we definitely need to draft an offensive lineman 100%. I feel like Tyron Smith has been on his back end of his career for at least 2 or 3 years now. Even when he's not hurt, even though he always is hurt, even when he's not hurt, when he's actually on the field, I feel like there's been so many holding calls and penalties, and I feel like the only reason he's kind of made it to a Pro Bowl the past couple of years or whatever years that he's made it is kind of just due to the fact that he's a big name in the NFL. Everyone knows who Tyron Smith is just because he was such a good tackle, and I don't think he's a bad tackle. Obviously, he's better than what we got now. But I do feel like he's on the back end. I think it'd be a better idea if we kind of try and just get him out a little bit. Don't make it obvious, but be like, hey, appreciate you, but it's kind of your time is done now. I feel like we need to go huge on offensive linemen in the 21 draft. I feel like there's, a couple linemen down there that could be a deciding factor on if we can actually get our run game back together and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I feel like left tackle would be huge. We do get La'el Collins back, so that'd be very nice. Zach Martin was getting hurt again as well, but it's kind of just how it goes. Our rookie center has at least been able to get some snaps, and Connor Williams is okay at best, but we can kind of take it what we can do. But the left side of the offensive line is clearly weak. We definitely need to put some pieces there, so anything we can kind of do. I feel like the 5th priority in the offseason this year should definitely be to draft some offensive linemen in the 2nd round, 3rd round. I'm not talking about 5th, 6th. Don't pick up some, Randy. I'm talking like good prospect offensive linemen that could play either next year or even the year after that. In this draft, secondary offensive linemen. I feel like that is our only weak spots on our football team, and it's killing us, so we need to do something about it. I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but you guys heard it in my last video. I don't think Zeke is really a top 5 running back anymore. I don't know what happened. He kind of just doesn't run with that fierce You know, he just doesn't run like that anymore. He's been fumbling way too much. So this isn't really a priority in the offseason, and I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this should happen. I kind of just want to hear anyone's thoughts on if you think we should maybe seek some options other than Zeke at running back, keep Tony Pollard there, try and maybe move Zeke for something. I don't think we really should. I do really like Zeke. You know, it's not like one of those things where I think he's horrible, he needs to get out. Obviously, I do think he is still a huge bright spot in our offense, but I also do feel like Tony Pollard, technically carries wise, catching wise, he's been putting up just about the same amount of production compared to the amount of snaps he actually gets. He puts up the same average yards per carry. He still puts up whatever, you know, catching stats and such. He still has the same catch rate, I'm pretty sure. Maybe a tad bit lower, but he just doesn't get as many targets, of course. I know we kind of just signed Zeke to a big contract, so obviously there wouldn't be many suitors for a trade anyways. No one really wants a big contract running back. I know that Derrick Henry is not getting paid as much as Ezekiel Elliott, and Derrick Henry carries the Titans. I don't think it's time to move on. He's obviously still young, but he's just been having a ton of issues this year. Like I said even before, I know the O-line hasn't been that great, so it's not really that big of a deal, but I just don't think you need to rely fully on an offensive line to at least get the job done. So I'm not too sure, but that's kind of just a talking point. If you guys want to comment down below on what you think about Zeke or what you think about in the future, just let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my 5 points on what I think the Cowboys actually need to do to be a better team next year and actually be a contender next year. If you guys agree, make sure to drop a like down below, and if you don't, make sure to still drop a like. Why not? No, I'm playing. But if you do disagree, make sure to drop a comment down below on what you disagree on. What else you think we should do? Maybe I was wrong in some points. Maybe I was right in some points. Make sure to just let me know. Also, drop a sub down below if you want to see more of this kind of content in the future. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one, and peace.